Hello everybody, and this is me just introducing you to the June issue of the Mover magazine. You can get it on your on the app if you want to. Just download the app on either iOS or on Apple phones, and it looks a bit like that, and it's a really good thing. So if you'd like to do that, then you can read it on your phone wherever you are. Otherwise, just click on this little icon, the front cover here, with a picture of Patrick Schwarzenegger on it. And then you can read it on your laptop, which I know is the way that most people do it. Laptop and desktop, that's the way that most people read the magazine nowadays, as well as on here. One of the little things I'd just like to show you while you're here is that we've changed all this this design here to make it a little bit easier to see, because we realise that a lot of people are looking at it on the phone. And we've got a new directory on there at the front, and if you go to the directory and you just click on any one of these stories, it will take you directly to the page with that story on it, which is just kind of handy. It means you're not having to flick through the whole thing. That story that I've just come up with there is the headline story this month, and it's the presentation that Patrick did at the FIDE conference, all about blockchain and artificial intelligence and machine learning and all that kind of thing. Which is, I know it's all a bit sort of buzzy at the moment, and some of you will remember that we were talking about blockchain 2 years ago or thereabouts, and I said that it would revolutionise the industry. Well, I thought it would, and it may still do. I've no idea. I think the jury's out to some extent, how appropriate it's going to be. But I can tell you that Patrick thinks that blockchain is ideal for the moving industry. And read the story, and he'll explain why. But the whole thing is not just about blockchain, it's about all kinds of things to do with the way in which technology is changing and how it's likely to affect the industry in the future. So do have a look at that. What else have we got? There's also quite an interesting story there about anti-fishing. Now, I'm sure that you know what fishing is nowadays. It's nothing to do with casting rods and things. It's these people that try to get information out of you that they're not entitled to, and it's a way, it's demonstrating ways in which you can identify these things. And there's actually on there is a little quiz that you can do to work out how good you are at actually spotting this yourself. And I can tell you, I think I'm pretty good at it, but I got some of them wrong, so it's worthwhile doing that, just as a good little exercise. There's also quite a nice story in there about fleet operators, the conflict, if you like, between fleet operators and their transport managers, because the transport managers are there to do their job and to run the transport, and they're professionals at that. The fleet operators are running a business, and sometimes the two are in conflict. Sometimes for the benefit of profitability, the fleet owner wants the transport manager to do something that really they're not supposed to do, and it's how to manage that conflict. So if you're suffering in that way, or you think, or you know anybody who is, have a read of that story. It's very interesting. It's talking about the UK market, but it doesn't make any difference. It's the same thing wherever you are in the world. There's lots in there, of course, as always. But there's also, you might like to read the report from the Omni conference in Seville. Omni is an organisation that some people think is a little bit sort of aloof or secretive or whatever. I promise you it isn't. It just really isn't. But it's an organisation that is discreet. It's an organisation for the conference is for the business leaders to go along to, and they tend to talk about strategic things, and they like to have a place where they can go and talk about these things in confidence with people who understand it and working on a similar level to them. And that's why it sometimes appears to be a little bit secretive, but it isn't secretive at all. It's just simply discreet, that's all. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the June magazine, and I hope that the summer season, if you like, or the busy season is being good to you. I'm hearing some good reports from around the world of people who are particularly busy right now, which is great, and I hope that continues, and we'll see you very soon. Bye for now. This is a story about the Omni conference that was in Seville. It's just a brief overview of what went on there. Great conference as always, the Omni conferences always are. Some people think that Omni is a little bit sort of discreet and elitist, but it's not really. It's just a place where business leaders can go and have a chat and talk to people like themselves in a discreet way, and know that their discussions are not going to go any further, which is why it sometimes appears to be a little bit aloof. But I promise you it's not. Read the story and you'll find out what went on there. Bye for now.